Free swimming dorado, damn boy.
Get a bait up here!
Fly line bait, get it up here! Woo!
Exciting times on the Real Fun out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing yesterday. Fishing in 50 feet of water for calico bass off San Clemente on the anchor. These dorados showed up. They ended up with one fish, but it portends a great season to come as dorado are here in Southern California.
Most might have something to say about working in these conditions.
That is the voice of Captain Pat Whitaker as he's making squid in horrible conditions. Captain Pat Whitaker is headed toward the west end of Catalina Island. The arrival time is going to be about 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, and then he'll work down east to the casino region. Call him on Channel 11 or give him a call on his cell phone, 541-291-1347. Live squid available for you at Catalina Island.
This fish, you got a pole. What are you doing on your couch?
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Here in Southern California, it's an absolutely gorgeous day. There's a lot of people out already. The sun is shining, it's beautifully warm, and there's a lot going on in sport fishing that I need to get you caught up on, including some local dorado in Southern California. Last year was a historic year for dorado catches in Southern California. Are we on the verge of that happening again? Dana Wharf Sport Fishing seems to think so. We'll have that for you in a moment. Of course, we're seeing more dorado and more yellowtail and more tropical species move from Baja California into Southern California with these warm El Nino waters. That also looking very good. How was the bluefin tuna bite? Well, in short, some guys got them, other guys struggle. We'll keep our eyes on that. And is that white sea bass bite ready to explode again? Up there in the Channel Islands, we'll be watching that as we've already seen some fish caught here this morning. You know what time it is, my friends. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning to you all. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining me, spending some time with me here on this lovely Sunday morning. It truly is beautiful. One can't help but feel blessed when you look around here. Thank you so much for all the likes you've given us. Hit that like button if you would. Share these reports with a friend and also subscribe to the channel. Tick that little bell and you'll be notified when there is new content available for you. I've already put some stuff up this morning. There is bait for sale at Catalina Island. Pat Whitaker and the bait boat Mañana is there selling live squid. Not sure how long that will last, but you've got phone numbers and you can call him on Channel 11 to get your bait. He's at the west end, working his way east down to where the casino is. Keep that in mind. Also, August the 15th, we'll be on the horizon out of H&M Landing in beautiful San Diego, California. It's going to be a great day and a half trip, and I sincerely hope you'll be able to join us. You've got to call Captain Bill Wilkerson to get on that trip. Give him a call, 619-985-5179. Hear my voice going down the tubes. One more of these. Oh, thank you. So get on that trip. I'll be there shooting video. It should be a lot of fun. And then September the 15th, almost sold out on the El Patron, 22nd Street Landing. We leave at 6 a.m., come back at 6 p.m. That's going to be a truly fun trip. Send me a text if you'd like to get on that one before it is too late. All right, my friends. Wow, what a lead in. I love that dorado, man. Seeing those free swimmers in 50 feet of water fishing for calico bass, and here come the flatheads. What a thrill for the guys on board. Congratulations to the angler who got that fish, and that just portends what I think is going to be an incredible late summer, an awesome fall. It is going to get crazy. We've been dealing with pretty cold water for a lot of the year. Now that El Nino warm water is starting to come in here, and all of the species that like to frolic in that warm water are going to start to move in here. It's going to get absolutely crazy. All right, let's start you out south of the border, down there, the beautiful town of Ensenada, Baja California Norte. Love that place, the food, the people, the culture, and of course the fishing. And the fishing down there is still really good locally. There's quite a bit of barracuda, more good calico bass fishing, some sand bass, There's an occasional yellowtail. This is all around Todos Santos, Punta Banda, University Point, all those local areas. It's pretty darn good fishing right now, as evidenced by blackfin sport fishing and other guys down there who've been having some really nice local fishing. The offshore bluefin tuna thing is pretty dicey. Once in a while you get them, other times you don't. You're trolling around with Mad Mac lures, and sometimes it just goes on and on and on and on and on, and you say, man, let's go catch something, and you go in and have at that local stuff. Other times you get a strike and catch a nice bluefin tuna. The BFT down there range for anywhere from 10 to 100 plus pounds, so there is some of that around, but it's been a lot more difficult. What is more evident right now is that more dorado are on the kelps and more yellowtail, and we're starting to see that stuff flood in there, and it's going to continue to move in along with more yellowfin tuna. We're seeing that it hasn't like gone wide open yet, but guys that go offshore, if you find that right kelp patty, and by that I mean, of course, the one that's holding fish, you can come up with some good scores. A lot of fish being seen. They're not all that eager to bite quite yet, but the fact that we're seeing them is just good evidence of a season that is knocking on the door. Another type of season with these tropical fish. And this is not unusual. If you remember last year, guys were seeing dorados, hundreds of them, maybe even thousands of them in a single day, and they wouldn't bite. They just drive you nuts. So it seems like they have to move in and kind of settle down, and then when the light switch goes on, it gets absolutely crazy, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of that here real soon. All right, San Diego area, several boats had some pretty tough fishing the last few days. But one thing is for sure, the weather has come down. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, having said that, other guys had really, really good fishing, but there were some scores that weren't that good. Pacifica limits of bluefin to an Apollo on a 3-day trip. 23 bluefin, 43 yellowtail, dorado. The Highliner had limits of dorado. Now, in Mexican waters, that is 2 fish per rod. In U.S. waters, that is 10 fish per rod. They also had 4 yellowtail and 2 bluefin tuna to go along with it. So evidence of that warm water stuff starting to move in. The Malahini, they're full day boats, leave in the morning, come back later that day. 34 dorado, a yellowfin, and a yellowtail for Captain Bill Wilkerson. That's a nice hit. Nothing wrong with that. The San Diego had 18 bluefin tuna, 5 yellowfin tuna, and a dorado. And those are the trips that leave in the morning and come back that very same day. They have had some very tough fishing here recently, much improved. Hopefully we're going to see more of that here today as we go along. It seems like we are pointed in the right direction. Producer, 25 on board. Jolene Thompson was on that trip, and she is the best. Jolene, good morning to you, my friend. It is always good to see you. 20 bluefin tuna, as we have a little baby here who's upset about Jolene's trip and didn't do that well. So hopefully the baby's going to calm down. But I can keep going with screaming in the background. That doesn't bother me one bit. All right, so kind of mixed scores right now. Some guys got them, some guys didn't get them. You never know, and that's one of the anglers in the background that was on a trip that wasn't all that great. So what can I tell you? Fishing lighter line when fishing is tough is the best way to get it done. Man, got to get this kind of better trip in the future. Go down to that 25-pound Opsin fluorocarbon. That is the way to get a bite. It works really well. If you have to drop your hook size down, you can also do that. www.opsinusa.com. That will really help you a lot when you're doing that. And choosing a hot bait, changing that bait regularly, all really super important. There are some nighttime hits on that bluefin tuna going on offshore also, but few and far between. But some guys get in on it, and it seems like the bigger fish are on the nighttime bite. We were having to fish like a 400-gram lure here recently. We get back to that 300 to 400 gram at night now with this weather coming down and looking much nicer. That is really going to help things out. You want to fish that metered line, that colored line that changes color every 100 feet so you know the exact depth your lure is at. That's super important. When the captain says drop, you need to drop immediately and get down to that depth that he's talking about. In fact, I like to go down about 50 feet farther and then wind up through it, and that is such a great way to catch bluefin. As I said, not a ton of it, but some of that going on out there around Tanner Bank, San Clemente Island. Pegasus had some great fishing. They've been goofing around with some big fish after they limited out on 10 to 30 pound bluefin tuna fly line fishing. They got on the right school. It wanted to bite. It was really, really good. And then they go fly a kite and catch some of that big grade stuff, 100+ pound, pushing 200 pounds in some cases. Nothing wrong with that kind of fishing. All right, let's take a look at what's going on our islands. We start down there at Todos Santos. We already kind of covered that. Some yellow, some barracuda, good calico fishing. Nothing wrong with the Coronado Islands right now. Guys that are fishing, they're picking off, anywhere from 10 to 20, 25 yellows every day, and then a little bit of bass and barracuda, rockfish if you want that. Moving you up to San Clemente Island, okay yellowtail fishing. You got to deal with sea lions all the time. Fly line bait seems to be best there. 8 to 20 pound yellows. At Clemente, some decent bass fishing and lots of rockfish. The Freedom with all rockfish yesterday, so the surface bite wasn't all that great. So we'll see how that plays out as we go along. And then moving you to Catalina Island, where there's some decent halibut at times, not wide open. Private boaters do better, it seems like. There's also an occasional white sea bass going on there, and some of the sport boats are keeping a lid on it. They've had some decent scores on sea bass. And then you pick at the calico bass, catch a barracuda, some bonita, that kind of thing at Cat. And then the Channel Islands, Daryl Spivey, good friend of mine, already had a nice sea bass. You see him grace the cover of the morning briefing. He had one nice WSB already this morning. Sport boats are starting to get some fish here now. So Channel Island area just ready to explode with good weather. Again, there's still squid up there, as you saw Pat Whitaker making the squid up there on the bait boat Manana. Got a private boater fish, got several other guys in on it. Look out, that could get ready to go. Mirage, 6 white sea bass yesterday. The Aloha Spirit, Jeff Yeomans and the 540 Slingers Club guys picked at the bass and the barracuda, and a nice halibut on board, also rockfish to go along with it. Nothing wrong with those kinds of scores. Island Spirit also picking at the Santa Calico bass, topping off with rockfish if they have to. There's still some barracuda around. Nothing wrong with that kind of fishing either. Now, our coastal bite down there in San Diego, it's been such an incredible year on calico bass. It has been off the hook, and it's still steady down there. Fishing lighter line for calico bass is perhaps the best way to do it. I'm talking about dropping down to 12 pound if you have to. You'll get so many more bites. Choosing a hot bait, 12-pound fluorocarbon, it's definitely the way to get it done for you. Keep that in mind. Moving up the coast, you've got to love what happened on the Real Fun yesterday. Seeing those free-swimming dorado, there may not have been a ton of them, but that is just evidence of what's to come. I've got to believe that. And they've had good calico bass fishing up there locally, some sand bass to go along with it. Nothing wrong with that bite. Up here in the San Pedro, Long Beach area, it's been off the hook fishing. It kind of slowed down yesterday. And there seemed to be a lot of short sand bass where it's been all legals. I shouldn't say that, but let's put it that there was a few more shorts, but still very steady. All the boats up here, local boats doing really well. Native Sun, 36 guys, 30 calicos, 150 on the sand bass, 42 barracuda. How can you beat that? City of Long Beach, the Enterprise, Western Pride, Davies Locker boats, all guys getting in on that. A lot of boat pressure. Maybe that put a little bit of a damper on it, but still darn steady. It's going to even be better on Monday when the boat pressure comes off and the weather's going to be gorgeous. It should really bite. Dropper loop with a chovy has been a great way to get a bite. And again, fishing lighter line if you're having trouble. I wouldn't fish. I'd fish 15, okay? And if you have to drop down to 12, you can. You probably get a bite just fine on 20. That's been the rule. But once again, just pay attention. See what's going on around you and adjust, and you'll be in the driver's seat. Also some good nighttime fishing. Redondo, calico bass, and Marina del Rey, but rockfish dominating up there in that neck of the woods. Once again, they continue to do very well. Up there in Santa Barbara, Coral Sea with a couple of halibut, the lingcod, 18 calicos, and lots of rockfish. How can you beat that? The San Diego Marlin Club. Our hats off to them for treating kids to an absolutely fun and spectacular learning day. Kids fishing, nothing better than that. It really makes a difference in a kid's life when you show them some attention, you give them some of your time, the benefit of your knowledge about the sea and the fish you can catch, and it just spells a wonderful day. And that's what they had down there at the San Diego Marlin Club. In the surf, man, I got to get over to Big Fish Bait and Tackle and pick up some bait, because I've seen some guys here catching fish already. Up and down the surf, of course, the water's warmed up to like 70 degrees right now, and that means corvina. That doesn't just mean corvina, but that is biting right now, And if you get some worms, you can dig up sandworms. You go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle here at Seal Beach. If you're around there, they have a ton of different baits, and you just fish that 6-pound, 8-pound little trout rod with a little Carolina rig, light sinker, sight fish those Corvina. You can see them. You'll see their backs come out of the water. You'll see what direction they're swimming in. Get up in front of them, hightail it up there, present your bait about 6 feet in front of them, and they'll swim right to it, and wham, you're onto a Corvina. They fight hard. They're good to eat if you want to do that. It's really great fishing right now. We see some halibut also. There's a good yellowfin croaker bite, a 3/4 ounce chrome crocodile. Works really well here in the surf. That's another good way. And some spot fin croaker also. Those are bait fish. They do not really like to bite artificials that much. Once in a blue moon. Mostly going to be on, I like sandworms, or you get some worms down there at Big Fish, as I was saying. Really good surf fishing, and a little bit of barb perch, but the water's getting way too warm for that right now. They're kind of skedaddling up into much cooler water. All right, my friends, what a gorgeous day it is here in SoCal. I hope you're having a lot of fun. Dorado, are we going to see it today? Is it going to blow sky high? And hey, that water offshore is still cool enough to catch an albacore today. What do you think? Are we going to get one? Leave a comment. I'd like to see if you nail it. I'm going to say, yeah, there's going to be another albie today. There is going to be another albie. And I would like to see somebody get a stop for 10 or 12 or 15 or something like that. That would be great. And the weather is coming around, so that bluefin bite is also something that we'll be watching very, very closely. Remember, kind of hit and miss. More of that dorado and all that stuff starting to push in here. That's also very, very good news as we continue to watch it for you very, very closely. All right, my friends, have a great Sunday, a beautiful day today. I hope you get out with family and friends. Hit the surf. You know, I mean, if you're on a budget, there's no better way to get out with the family, catch some fish, and have some fun. It's all a win-win-win. As are you and your great support. A win for me, and I can't thank you enough for your wonderful support. It means so much to me. Have a great Sunday, my friends, and I hope to see you really, really soon. The El Patron operates out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, and they have a slew of 1.5-day trips where you'll fish with only 10 anglers on board. Bluefin tuna fishing, yellowtail fishing is outstanding in Southern California, and there's no better way to do it than on the El Patron. 310-832-8304 or visit 22ndstreet.com.